What is going on with the live-action Hot Wheels movie? If you're like me, you clicked on this video because you have a love for Hot Wheels, and if you're old enough to remember, then you probably grew up with World Race and Acceleracers. So yes, you heard me right. There's a live-action Hot Wheels movie in the works, and it's reportedly being directed by none other than J.J. Abrams. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he's the director of these Star Wars films, or better known as the director that nearly killed the franchise. Well, love him or hate him, he's directing this movie, which according to Screen Rant has been stuck in development limbo for 20 years. And with rumors of it set to release next year? Reading this article, it pretty much confirms that there's absolutely no information on this movie whatsoever, but it is fairly old, and typically when it comes to movies, they try their best to keep things hush-hush. The closest thing we have to a live-action Hot Wheels movie is the live-action Speed Racer movie from 2008. A lot of people completely forgot this was even a thing, which is a crying shame because it is criminally underrated. Go watch it if you haven't already. And while yeah, it's themed to Speed Racer, Hot Wheels did create all the toys and was responsible for a lot of the marketing for this movie. And looking at the movie itself, we can use it as a potential glimpse of what a live-action Hot Wheels movie could look like. And it really wouldn't be too far off given all the Hot Wheels lore that we already have. So imagine super aggressive tracks that only the best of the best drivers can navigate, and they're forced to use these special Hot Wheels cars because ordinary cars just would not be capable of handling such a track. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this movie just ends up being Speed Racer all over again, but this time properly themed to Hot Wheels. Which leads me to the story. What kind of story is this going to have? There's no script and very little information on the project other than the story is going to be grounded and gritty, using marketing terms like, "This movie will be a love letter to car fans of all ages," and "there will be a focus on car culture from all over the world," which just sounds like your typical corporate marketing jargon. Chalking up a very basic story that follows a similar premise to what we've already seen with Hot Wheels in the past, I'm guessing that it'll follow a teenage boy named Vert Wheeler who goes on to become the world's best driver by racing in this grand race through crazy and unpredictable racing realms that house all the Hot Wheels tracks, while trying to outrace some evil faction that's trying to steal the MacGuffin at the end. With all that being said, it's time we talk about the elephants in the room. We need to talk about the cars. Obviously, you can't make a Hot Wheels movie without the Hot Wheels cars, and while there are plenty of real life-size Hot Wheels cars, pretty much all the cars are being paraded around for the Hot Wheels Legends Tour, which as of me making this video, is still ongoing. So it makes you question, when are they going to start filming? And what cars are they going to use? If the rumors are true that the movie is set to release sometime in 2025, then that means they should have started filming months ago. And that's not including the time it'll take for special effects and CGI. Meaning that they would have needed the cars for filming for quite a while, not allowing some of them to participate in the Legends Tour. Now they do have multiple versions of some cars. For example, the Twin Mill and the Bone Shaker have multiple cars built, so they could easily be used for both filming and still allow the leftover cars to go participate in the Legends Tour. Sadly, not all the life-size cars have more than one car built. Dior 2 only has the one car made for it, and pretty much all of the other cars that I'm showing now are the only examples made of that car. So unless they were to build more of these cars, they're all one of one, meaning that these are the only known examples of these cars ever built and likely to be built, which poses a very big hurdle when it comes to making a live-action Hot Wheels movie, because a lot of these cars are just one of one, and I really doubt Mattel is about to risk these cars for a live-action Hot Wheels movie. When making a movie, there are often multiple versions of the exact same car, specifically just so they can get smashed and crashed up and used for stunts, while the main car that is typically kept in pristine condition, which is labeled the hero car, is the one that they use for all the promotional material and the close-up shots. And a lot of these cars, as I've mentioned about like 5 times now, are the only examples that exist in the whole world. So either they don't get used, or they're going to have to make more of them for the purpose of being banged up. And speaking of Diora 2, it doesn't seem like they're planning on moving forward with this movie anytime soon, as the most recent thing to be done to the real-life Diora 2 was it being taken to get a brand new wrap put on it based on the Surf livery from the 5-pack that came out a while ago, and is already back to the Hot Wheels Legends Tour. And I know that a lot of us older fans would be absolutely pissed if Diora 2 was not included in this live-action Hot Wheels movie. I also predict that they'll have a mix of real-world cars, so that way they can stay true to their car culture claim and please everyone by including a little bit of JDM, European, etc., just so it's not all crazy over-the-top fantasy cars and American muscle cars. And as much as we love to hate them, probably a couple of electric cars. After all, you gotta remember this movie has to appeal to everyone, even the normies who don't know anything about cars. That's the reason why franchises like Fast and Furious are so popular and have become a household name. If done right, this movie could have potential to cement itself as a rival to Fast and Furious as the next big car movie franchise. So the marketing has to be top tier. And seeing how much of a success the Barbie movie was, I have a feeling that even if the story is absolutely awful, the marketing is guaranteed to get your butt in a theater. Especially if it's going to be anything like the marketing for the Speed Racer movie, with all the crazy toys and merchandise that was made for that, then let's just say it'll be a very good time to be a Hot Wheels fan. With all that, we have reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button so it gets pushed out to more Hot Wheels fans just like you. And if you're new here, subscribe. I do a lot of cool stuff on this channel, especially related to Hot Wheels, so trust me, you'll want to stick around.